Summertime is the hardest time period for pooper scoopers to grow. I talk to a bunch of scoopers all across the country, and everyone struggles a lot during the summertime. So today, I'm bringing you an exclusive live training, Surviving the Summer Slump: How Pooper Scoopers Can Grow During the Slow Season. Why should you listen to me? I'm Anthony Salazar. I'm the owner of Salazar Scoops and Poop Scoops for Noobs. I've been a pooper scooper for the past almost 5 years now. I've seen the trend, at least in my area, of what happens as a pet waste removal business. And I've talked to a bunch of different businesses all across the country. And there are some things that I just noticed during the summertime that I wanted to do this live training on about. Why this matters. The slow season isn't the end of growth, it's the beginning of strategy. Spring brings the rush, summer brings cancellations. If you're not ready, it feels like a gut punch. But this drop is predictable, and that makes it an opportunity. Summer's not slow, it's strategic. And the people who do use the slow time in their business to position themselves and prepare for the next busy rush, those are the ones who have the amazing explosive growths that we're all trying to get. So in this live training, I'm going to share four, or I think it's five, sorry, strategic moves for pooper scoopers. Plus, if you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to share one more bonus tip for you. Re-engage your base, invest in systems and processes, build route density, build authority, upgrade your tech stack, and then the bonus tip. Strategic move one: re engage your base. So, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I am obsessed with Dan Kennedy, the godfather of direct response marketing. And he has one of his most famous quotes, which is, the most valuable asset in your business is your customer list. Why is this so important? We're all spending money trying to gather leads from Facebook, Instagram, Google, all of these advertising platforms where we just have to spend money to get someone's eyeballs. But when you finally capture their eyeballs, and you actually capture their information with like a lead form, and you build out your CRM with a list of customers who've raised their hand in the first place to work with you, it gives you the opportunity to market to these customers in the future without having to spend any extra money to get them in the first place. So re-engage your customer base. Customers will cancel or pause, but don't let that be the end of the conversation. Just because someone says they want to cancel services doesn't mean they're saying goodbye forever, and doesn't mean that you frankly should take no for an answer. Reach out with summer deals, X% off regular service, free visit with prepay, etc. Like, what are the reasons why you're reaching out to your customer base in the first place? You always want to have a reason why you reached out to them. Call, text, email, all one-time cleanup customers to convert them to regular services. At least for me in my area, when we have our spring rush and all the snow melts, we get a lot of customers who just want to sign up for a one-time appointment so they can get their yard ready for the springtime. It behooves you to spend some energy, spend some thought reaching out to those people a couple weeks, a couple of months, even years later, because if they've used your services once, that means they'll most likely be willing to use your services again in the future. Reward referrals during the slow season. Give people a reason to talk about you. So we've been focusing a lot with our referral program this year, working with referral partners, other small businesses, as well as just pushing it out to our actual customers, letting them know uh, you get this amount off your service, plus we'll also donate money to a local animal shelter for each referral that you send us. And that's been helping a lot with my business through the use of word of mouth and growing our business through referrals. Many scoopers go quiet when customers pause, but this is a time to follow up, especially if you're seeing a lot of churn during the summertime. If you're having a lot of people cancel, figure out ways that you can reach out to them 2, 3, 4, 5 months in the future, as well as following up with the customers that you already worked with in the past. Maybe Sally Sue didn't want service during the springtime, but now it's the summertime and her needs and priorities are different now. So she will maybe she will want to work with you this time. Reactivating a former customer is way cheaper than getting a new one. That's 100% true. You're spending a lot of money on Facebook, Google, Instagram, just trying to get people's eyeballs, renting those eyeballs from the platforms just to capture someone's phone number, email address, so you can send them postcards or letters. So once you capture that lead's information, and they're in your database, always, always, always be following up with your customers. Strategic move number 2, invest in systems and processes. Use this quiet time to bulletproof your business. When the chaos returns, you won't be winging it. You'll have a playbook. So this is something that people always talk about. I want to work on the business and not in the business. And how does that actually happen? Well, it happens once you go through the craziness of spring rush, or you have an onslaught of customers. Your business or your systems, your processes, they will break down because of things that you just didn't think about. So what slowed you down this spring? Now is the time to fix it. Build SOPs, standard operating procedures, customer intake form, invoicing. If you want to hire a VA, a virtual assistance training, cancellations, reviews. These are all different areas in your Pooper Scooper business that you could focus on. You want to review what happened during your busiest time. Did you have so many customers that you just didn't have enough time to reach back out to them? Were you missing calls because a lot of people were calling you? Do you forget to chase after people to get paid? Do you always forget to ask someone for a review? What do you do when someone tries to cancel service with you? Are you trying to downsell them? These are all things that you will do over and over and over with your Pooper Scooper business. And if it's something that you can standardize, if it's something that can be repeatable, that's when you can build out a standard operating procedure. Literally write down the steps A through Z on how to do this exact task, and then you can hand that off to someone else to eventually alleviate you from those responsibilities so you can focus on more revenue generating activities. Document, streamline, delegate. This is the time to work on the business. So like I said, I have a VA that I've been training on doing administrative tasks in my CRM and cold calling customers. These are things that I've had to work with her, write down steps and procedures for her to follow, and giving her ownership of these tasks. Ask, if I had 2 times the number of customers today, could I handle it smoothly? I always like thinking of this framing whenever we implement a new change in our business, or if we're thinking about scalability. I always think like, how how are we handling this when I have 2 times, 5 times, 10 times the amount of customers? For example, let's say you have a rainy day and you need to cancel services on your customers for that day. If you have 10 customers, you can manually text those 10 customers saying, "Hey, it's raining today. I'm gonna have to push you back. I'm gonna have to push you back, or I'm gonna have to cancel services." But if you have 10 times the number of customers, so if you have 100 customers that you need a message in a day, how are you handling that process? These are the things that you want to think through during the slow season, because you have the bandwidth and the energy to actually make these changes, train on it for a couple of months, and then you're ready for your next onslaught of customers. Figure out what you did really well and keep doing that. Change everything that slowed you down. And this could be all sorts of things. What are the activities you're investing your time and energy on to actually grow your pooper scooper business. There are things that you did really well, and I'm sure there are things that you didn't do at all, and there are things that you did really badly. I'm speaking for myself. There's a lot of stuff that I did pretty well, and we can do more. And there are just things that I'm frankly not doing to land more customers, to chase after quotes, to get paid faster. There are just things that I'm not doing. So I want to make sure that you acknowledge there are things that you're not doing, and you need to handle those if you want to continue growing, especially during the slow time, the slow season. Strategic move number 3: build route density. You don't need 100 new clients. You need 10 on the same block. Your goal is efficiency, not expansion right now. Stop focusing on more cities. Focus on more yards per block. Drop door hangers near current clients. Leave branded yard signs or door-to-door flyers in tight clusters. Offer neighbor discounts or referral incentives tied to street or zip codes. These are some strategies that you can try to implement to continue growing your route density. Knock on the neighbors' houses, talk to your customers, ask your customers like, hey, what's your neighbor's name? So you can like actually send them a letter. Say, hey, Sally Sue, Tiffany told me all about you and your wonderful dog. We scoop after them, and we were just wondering if you want services. Or like, I'm just brainstorming off the top of my head, but figure out how you can bring along your current customers, because most of the time customers, if you have a customer, they know at least the people next door to them and maybe the people across the street. So if you have a good rapport with your current customers, if you're building relationships with them and asking them about their day, you should 100% ask about like their neighbors and like what their name is and if they have any dogs, because that'll help you build your route density once you start advertising and marketing to those people. The less you drive, the more money you make. Aim for at least 3+ yards per hour. Obviously, this depending on the yard size, but let's say it takes you 15 minutes on average to scoop a yard. If you did 3 yards per hour, that's 15, 30, 45 minutes of scooping, and then you can give yourself around 5 minutes of drive time in between. Obviously, the closer you have your customers to each other, the more yards you can do per hour. But as a general rule of thumb, I like telling people to aim for at least 3 yards per hour, especially if you're going to start growing your business and you want to hire people. You're going to need 3+ yards per hour to focus on the margins of your business and actually be profitable. Strategic move number 4: build authority. When you teach people, you don't have to chase them. You become the one they trust before they even call. So use this downtime to build credibility that attracts high quality clients. Write a guide for dog owners or HOAs. Create educational videos or blog posts on your website for SEO and for your social media. Send value packed emails instead of just promotions. When you reach out to your customers, have a reason why you're reaching out to them in the first place. Don't try to always just sell something to them. Talk about the activities that you're participating in, the other businesses that you support, a dog park, your favorite dog park that's nearby. What are extra value adds you can give to your customers when you reach out to them, instead of just saying, hey, I'm here, let me take your money? The more you try to sell to someone, the less they're going to listen to you. Become the go-to expert in your area. Don't just be a scooper, be a specialist. And that's one reason why I started making content, or one reason why I continue to make content, because the more content that I've made online, it's positioned me as an authority figure. I've written books, I've spoken to conferences, and I'm able to use that in my marketing. I'm able to use that when I speak to customers and tell them like, this is why I'm the most trustworthy pooper scooper in my area, and you should work with me. Now I have another Dan Kennedy-ism. He talks a lot about building authority, being the number one in your industry, and why it's so important to be the authority in your niche. No one wants to talk to the guru at the bottom of the mountain. They line up to talk to the guru on the top of the mountain. So the more you can be out there in social media, spitting facts, sharing information, trying to educate your customer base, the more you give, the more people are going to realize that you are a legitimate business, that you are someone trustworthy, and with that trust will come more customers and easier customers to sell because they already know you're the number one person in this niche. Strategic move number 5, upgrade your tech stack. So, what are areas in your business that you can continue investing your time, money, and energy in? Automations. What are software out there that you can start automating some of your tasks or your business processes? Lead generation, tools and equipment for your actual scooping services. After like the spring rush and the busy time of the year, your equipment, a lot of your own vehicle, a lot of it is pretty messed up, pretty destroyed because of how much work you're doing. So the slow season is the perfect time to actually upgrade your tools and equipment and like make sure your tires are rotated and you got your oil change and whatever else you need to do for vehicle maintenance. I don't know a lot about vehicles. I just look at the lights on my dashboard and I just go to the dealership to get it fixed. But software and then your actual business equipment, like these are things that you want to upgrade during the slow season. The slow season is the best time to invest in new technology, which is why I always tell people that if you don't have a CRM, you should 100% invest in a CRM during your slow season. The CRM that I use, that's a sponsor of this video, is Jobber. Jobber has been instrumental for the growth of my Pooper Scooper business. Since implementing Jobber, I've been able to grow my Pooper Scooper business to almost to more than 200 recurring customers. It allows me to request deposits and save cards on file. It automates all my scheduling, invoicing, reminders. I have follow-ups for invoices, marketing emails. There's a bunch of amazing things with Jobber that I've utilized, but my favorite tool that they have available are their marketing campaigns. One of the strategic steps was re-engage your customer base. So with Jobber's marketing campaigns, I'm able to send out emails to my customers, whether it's my current customers or past leads. I'm also able to automate these emails, and because of these emails, I've generated close to almost like $10,000 in additional revenue just from sending a communication out with Jobber. If you get Jobber and you sign up for their marketing suite, you theoretically it'll just take one campaign, a really good campaign with a really compelling offer, for you to like pay for your subscription with Jobber. So if you want to blow up your business to the next level, if you want it to be the authority in your area as a pooper scooper, make sure you check out Jobber. Go to poopscoopsfornoobs.com/jobber. You'll get yourself a 14-day free trial plus my exclusive discounts, and I'll send you my Jobber cheat sheet for pooper scoopers. Now, because you're all the way here till the end, I'm going to share one more strategic bonus tip so you can continue growing during the slow season. Audit like a CEO. This is the slow season, but CEOs don't slow down. They reflect, review, and retool to crush it next quarter. So pull your data. What's your churn rate? So how many customers have you been losing each month, and what's the percentage of that? Which routes are least profitable? Are you seeing that city A, you have a bunch of customers and you're making a lot of money, versus city B where everything is scattered around and it takes you a long time to finish the jobs because the yard which are just terrible. You want to audit all of your routes and figure out where are the areas that you should continue doubling down on and start cutting away the unprofitable routes. And then what's your customer lifetime value and average ticket? How, on average, how long is someone staying with you? How much are they paying you? And how much is the average price of your subscription or of your one-time cost? These are basic numbers. As an owner of a business, especially a Pooper Scooper business, these are numbers that you 100% need to know. So if you're in your slow season right now, take the time to start measuring these stats. And then ask yourself the hard questions. What are we wasting time on? What needs to change before the sprawl of the fall, winter, spring, like your busy season? Take a hard look at your business. When business is booming and things are explosive, it's really, really exciting. And then you lose that enthusiasm and you start noticing the things that are really annoying you with your business. I'm sure there's a bunch of different things that you have in your current processes that is really annoying that you wish you didn't have to do anymore. So take that time right now during the slow season. What are you wasting your time on, and what can you change so you're better prepared in the future? Summer is your chance to sharpen your systems before it's go time again. So yeah, those were 5 strategic tips for Pooper Scoopers to grow during the slow season. And I left you with a bonus tip. Make sure you go to poopscoopsfornoobs.com/jobber to try Jobber for free for 14 days. And if you also didn't know, I'm part of Poop Scoop Academy. Go to school.com/poopscoopacademy. Every Monday, I do a live call with all members in that community every Monday. So it was great chatting with you today. If you want to do some more live training with me, make sure you check me out at school.com/poopscoopacademy. And I'll see you on the next scoop. And as always, acknowledge the now. Bye.